Hello. Hey, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Feelings with the Geekiary. I am Erin. I'm here with Jamie. We're fans. We have feelings. This is where we webcast about them. So hey, happy Labor Day weekend. Um, Not that that really applies to the two of us because apparently we're both still working this weekend, but it's fine. Uh, you all enjoy your time off. You can join in the conversation with the hashtag Geekiary Feelings. Come on, how will we know we're wrong if you don't tell us?
We're never wrong.
We're never wrong.
We would like to remind all of you that the views expressed on this web are those of the hosts as individuals and do not necessarily represent the country or the webcast itself as a whole.
Very good. All right. As usual, don't forget about our Patreon. It's still out there, active. Give us money. It's fun. Patreon.com/thegeekiary. And also, of course, we have this whole YouTube channel that is full of really great content, lots of reaction videos. There's some good stuff out there, so check it out. And also, we have to give a shout out to our host, Geekiary. Of course, the news section. What is some of the biggest news from the past week? Because I can tell you, without a doubt, I have no idea what's going on in the world of entertainment / geekdom / whatever we would put in news. So tell me, please, what is happening?
Well, Shang-Chi is out. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either.
Stuff happened. I'm hoping I can convince some of my family to go on vacation, but then I don't really want to go to a movie theater in Florida. I don't even want to go to a movie theater here and people actually wear masks. So, but yes, so Shang-Chi is out. I've heard nothing but good things. It apparently is doing very well at the box office and it's got really good reviews and so far. So, yay. Mm-hmm. And we also have one of our contributors did an interview, Holland Roden of Teen Wolf fame, earlier this week because he's in a new Ted Bundy, something like that. One of those dudes that doesn't need another movie. So check that out. And then Fareed is, the site, but Fareed is giving away, I think, a digital copy of the new animated Mortal Kombat movie. He posted a review on the blog, but it's in one of the YouTube videos. So find the Mortal Kombat Battle of the Realms YouTube video and find out how to win. That's giveaways on Tuesday. Whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't know what the date is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tuesday is the 7th.
Then it's the 7th.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah. No, I don't blame you about the movie theater situation. However, as a Floridian, and as a person who wants to support Shang-Chi, I will be seeing it in the theater eventually. But I don't have any money right now, so.
Yeah, my thing is do I want to see it on, because I don't see it next week because of my work schedule. And I work all weekend, so. And that's why I'm I maybe can see it on vacation, or I'll have to wait till I come back.
All right.
I might just have to wait till I come back. I'm I'm gonna get spoiled with that, so. There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way around it. I've also heard good things though, so I can't wait to see it. I'm really excited. So I don't really have any other news to comment on at this point. I might think of things throughout the webcast. You never know. So yeah, I mean, I also don't have anything for our discussion written down. So this is just going to be a free-for-all. It's cool. But I do have, I guess, something that I'm excited about, which we talk a lot about the theme parks here because we're all pretty big fans of the theme parks, especially Disney. And they just announced, I believe at the beginning of this week, if I don't know the days anymore. So recently, I'll just say recently, they announced that they are reinstating the sale of new annual passes at Disney World again. So I'm very excited to get my annual pass and to actually like go to the parks with a little bit more frequency, hopefully. Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yay! That is exciting.
I know. You know, I always wanted to be one of those people that could just like wake up in the morning and be like, you know, I have to work today, but after work, I would really love to go to Magic Kingdom and ride the People Mover and then go home. And I think that sounds amazing. So I will probably start doing that with some frequency. So, yes, I'm the People Mover supremacy sort of person over here. So, yeah. I don't know. That's about it. I don't really have anything else. I'm just excited to return to the parks and do that. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
I have family vacation coming up. Yeah. We did this last year. I think it was ill-advised, but I'm actually concerned this year than I was last year. Even though we're all vaccinated, my parents finally got vaccinated under threat of not ever. But I am a little concerned. So I fly September 11th, and it's the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, and I was a little skittish about it because I know, like, I mean, flying is still the safest form of transportation. Hijacking happen all that much. But I was still skittish just because of the date. I'm like, oh, it's September 11th, and I'm flying. That's not frightening. And then all the crap in Afghanistan happened, and now I'm a little more concerned. I mean, I know the odds are still low, but I'm a nervous traveler anyway, so.
I get the anxiety. I mean, I think that is probably fair to feel a little anxious. I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think I will too. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm not a very good flyer anyway. I don't like to fly, so. But that's pretty much the only way to go to Florida. Unless I want to take a like 20 ride, which I do not.
You get yourself a glass of Pinot Grigio in the airport before you board, maybe 2, and you'll be totally chill the whole time. You might even fall asleep. Listen, you know me. I'm a big supporter of the best thing that you could possibly do on a plane is drink. You can't drink really right now. I don't think a lot of airlines are serving alcohol still. You have to do it ahead of time, but that's okay because, you know, flying, you are not in control. You just sit back, you relax, and do your own thing for 3 hours, 4 hours, however long you're flying, because there's nothing else you can do. So that's my philosophy. It's not great, but, you know, whatever.
Drink.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we have going on here? I know we're both really exciting tonight.
Oh, I lead such an exciting life. Now, well, I have New York Comic Con coming up.
Oh yeah. How's that? Tell us about what's going on.
Well, there's not a whole lot out yet. And they just had a sale because I guess a lot of people returned their tickets after the sale because the tickets went in like 2 hours when they went on sale in July. But, you know, and I mean, New York Comic Con, big conventions are always like this too. Like people get annoyed because they're like, well, there's no guest announcements yet. It's like, yeah, because they don't know who's coming yet. Like with San Diego, like you don't get the full until 2 weeks before the convention.
Yeah.
Because like people have commitments need to, you know. So Comic Con, same thing. It's like the have some guest announcements like early, and then but most of them come later, and so they didn't start really announcing guests until like last week. And even ones that have been announced so far, it's like, okay, you know. Stephen Strait is coming though, and I too love Stephen Strait. But yeah, but I don't think the schedules come out yet. It usually comes out at the beginning of September, so probably next week. But the big news is that Funko is not going to be there. I suspect that a lot of people bought tickets because of Funko, and now they're not going to have an online. They're not going to have an on-site presence, like a virtual convention at the same time. So I think a lot of people backed out because of that. But honestly, less was better for me. Oh.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like you know, things were looking pretty decent at the beginning of the summer as far as COVID goes. And then there was a real sharp left turn in the middle of the summer. And now we're all just kind of like, shit, we got to go through this again. Or still, you know, like the hope is gone. So, you know, I chose not to go to MegaCon here in Orlando last month because, or Florida especially, well, Florida in general is a shit show right now. So, you know, I just didn't want to deal with it. And it's hot as balls too. I'm sweating just sitting at my desk doing nothing. So, but they had their guests dropping out like all the way up to the con. And, you know, a lot of guests, like I'm on the Facebook groups and everything. A lot of the attendees, I should say, were just pissed because they were like, you know, what's the point now? And, you know, I get that, but you know, at the same time, like, we're still in a pandemic and, you know, there's still a lot of uncertainty. And when you have like high profile celebrities and stuff all being around the public like that, there's a lot of uneasiness, I think, still. And so, I see both sides. Like, it's tough time.
Yeah, I get it. I know that Drag is going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how that's going.
I don't really know. I haven't heard anything like majorly bad.
I haven't either. I've only heard a few things. Tyler Hoechlin is there, and I love Tyler Hoechlin. And so I've seen pictures from his panel. I also saw somebody cosplay Ever Given and decided to be the kind of person that blocks doors because of that. So that's a fun person to mention. I forgot about Dragon Con. I don't even know what day I do know what day it is. But. I have friends there. That's the only reason I even remembered that it was still happening.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know. I miss conventions, but also I don't know.
Yeah, this year is going to be weird at Comic-Con because normally like all of us go for at least one day. And I'll only like my friends that I know of for sure is going. And I know that she bought my ticket because I had to buy tickets because I originally did not get approved for a press badge because of the limited capacity. And I appealed the decision and I got a press badge. So then I have badges that I paid for I don't need. So I'm like, I need to sell these badges. So I have a friend that bought one of my badges and might buy the other. So she's the only person that I know for sure is going. I know that ticket. So, but most of my other friends have decided not to risk it this year. And I mean, it's probably, honestly, if I had I only bought these when I originally bought them. But it's one of these things where I was like, you're not going to know until you get there whether it was worth the money.
Yeah.
And it's it's a lot of money to go to the big conventions like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm like, I'm kind of glad I got the press badge and can sell the other badges, because I don't know if I would have wanted to have paid. Like, I wouldn't have minded paying, but like the fact that it was so much.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying for sure. Yeah.
But they did offer a only too that you could get, and so they're gonna stream like the major rooms, and I think there'd be like other like exclusive like virtual content for people that package. And so I think most of my friends were gonna do that, and then like have a viewing party at somebody's apartment. And I'm like, okay, but I'm actually going, so like, I don't get to be part of the party.
You gotta pick and choose your experience, man. Like, I know, it's not great. Oh, I do have one other thing I just remembered. This is how I webcast now, which is, random things pop in my head. Let's talk about it. Okay, going back to Disney. So the theme parks, the Disney theme parks, have discontinued free Fast Pass and are now doing similar to what Disneyland has been doing for the last several years, which is you pay like a flat fee. I think at Disney World in Orlando, it's going to be $15 per day, and you get like special, expedited line access or whatever. But yeah, it's a paid thing now, no more free. And then you actually, from what I hear, you also have to pay like certain upcharges on certain attractions that are like more popular. Like I would say like maybe Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom, which always has, consistently like a 2-hour plus wait for that line. I would assume they haven't announced what attractions they're going to be, but I would assume like Flight of Passage would be one. Where, yeah, you have to pay extra then for access to that expedited line. And I'm just like, Disney, don't you make enough money?
Yeah.
Man?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but
it's so expensive to go to the park in the place.
Yes.
Like, I feel like if you're going to do that, lower the price of the ticket. I know why they're not, but I feel like you're going to charge people extra, not have to wait in line, then you should lower the price of the ticket. That's just what I think, but that's why I'm not, that's why I live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not making big bucks.
Yeah, I discovered I was kind of, I was looking at some Disney Springs menus the other day, because I really want to go to Disney Springs sometime this weekend, because I have some gift cards, and I was like, I'll just go and chill for a little bit. And I found like a really good menu at Morimoto Street Food at Disney Springs, and they have like a 6-piece takoyaki for $6 and a yuzu vodka lemonade slush for $8. And I'm like, these are really good Disney prices. I think I'm probably going to have to go there. And they have like $12 ramen too, but it's like 1 billion degrees here, so I'm not going to eat ramen, because Morimoto Street Food is like a walk-up window with seating outdoors. So I'm not gonna buy ramen and then eat it outdoors.
Yep.
It's not gonna happen. But I'm excited. I might go do that. So you can find some good deals if you look for them.
Yeah.
But an alcoholic slush drink for $8 at Disney?
Yeah. You're not on that in New York. Like,
no. So, and it's a slush drink, so good for hot days. Yes. We'll see. I don't know. It could also be like this big. I hope not.
It's like in New York, and like $10 on a drink, and this big, and it's like, really?
Yeah.
And you didn't put $10 worth of liquor in here.
Right. Okay. Well. Yeah. So that was my other thing. I don't really have anything else. Let's just keep going because I know we get really fired up about our recommendations sometimes. So let's move on to our recommendations. So you've got some things written here. I don't have anything, but you go first, and I will think of things.
Okay. So I'm sure you're all. Well, first I'll start with the book rec because that's probably what I'll talk the least about. But I finally read Red, White, Blue, which for anybody that doesn't know, is a queer romance, and it's about this president's son falling in love with one of the princes of England, and they have like a secret friendship going on for a while. And all that kind of stuff, and it's like it's really good, and it's very like it's a happy ending. I mean, there's some like phobia, like some kind of some stuff, but it very much is like an idealized version of what would happen in this situation, because I imagine that it would not end well in reality, but it does. And it's just as in the author's notes from the book, the author mentioned that it was like they'd had it for a while, and then after 2016 they were like, fuck politics, basically. But then they were like, no, I'm gonna write this anyway. And it's good. It's really cute. So definitely read it. The author has another book that I haven't read yet. Time travel. It's lesbian time travel. Set in New York. I have a friend that bought it. When she reads it, I'll be like, "What?" So there's that. Everybody read that. And then I have 2 C dramas. I know that's what I'm recommending. So the first one is The King's Avatar. It is about a professional gamer who basically forced to retire. Like he is a very private person. He doesn't do promote events. He wears a mask out in public, doesn't really go out in public all that much. So he's like not making the team any money. And so they like remove him as captain, and they basically are like, oh, you can stick around, coach the guy that's replacing you. And he was, no, I'll just retire. But then he uses an old account, start over in the game to make it back into the pro league. So he like forms his own team and all this kind of stuff. It's really good. I have a recommendation for it a couple days ago because I just finished it like Tuesday. But it's really cute. They spend a lot of time actually in the game, because when I explain the plot to people, I am always like, it's not to be confused with the other drama about a professional gamer that quit his team and starts a new team that I recommended last year. But they spend it's more about like the actual game than the people. So they spend a lot of time in the game, and the graphics are really good. It actually looks like a video game. And it looks like a really cool video game, and I wish it was cool so that I could play it. Mm-hmm. And then the main lead is he's like a confused puppy human disaster. It's amazing. Like he ends up at an internet cafe, and because when he leaves the team, he doesn't have any income, he doesn't have any place to live. He lived in like dorms and all that kind of stuff. So he gets a job at an internet cafe, and he doesn't know how to do anything. And so the first the second episode, because the first episode is him quitting and all that kind of stuff. So in the second episode, his boss is being like, "Oh, like change the light bulb," and he like can't change the light bulb, and like all this other stuff. And then that's a really good one. I like a lot of the C dramas have like happy endings, and I really. I like happy endings. I don't like unhappy endings. And this one was actually I really liked because there was no romance. Not that romance bad, but I really appreciated that there was no romance, and there were like 3 female characters that he could have ended up with, and they just didn't go that route. And I'm like, it is based on a book.
Unusual, very unusual.
Like the fact, I was actually surprised. I mean, there's one character that I think there is a second season coming, apparently. There's no information about it yet, but the main actor is supposed to signed on to do it, but you don't know who else is back. But there is like there's one of the women is definitely like more romance, so that might happen in the season 2. But in season 1, it's about him like rediscovering his love of the game, and all that kind of stuff. So there's no romance. And I also like this one. Like, I love Gank Your Heart, which is the other program I was talking about. But in that, there's no female gamers. And there's female characters, and they're like really good female, but none of them like play in the game. They had one of the female characters was a coach of one of them, had used to play but wasn't active anymore. She kind of counts, but in the car there's several. Two of the main characters are gamers, and then there's like they're not all of them are named, but like when they have the matches and they team, like there's women. So I was like, that was nice. Get to see that. I mean, even a lot of the like geeky shows are men. The Big Three had mostly male characters. Silicon Valley had female characters. Like, anything that's about like geek culture is primarily men, because men writing these damn shows. But so it was nice, and they were very skilled. Like the one who's his former teammate, like childhood best sister. She's like one of the players, and they like all the time. So I'm like, awesome. So there's the King's Avatar, and then it's hilarious. So then I watched Love O2O, which is Love Online to Offline, which is also about gamers, and it stars the same actor as the King's Avatar.
This actor has obviously pigeonholed himself into a type of role. I can tell.
But Love O2O is a little older, and I had it on my Netflix watch list because after I watched The Untamed last year and started my descent into C-dramas, I just started like adding a bunch of them to my list. And so the King's Avatar I had on my list and hadn't watched, and so I finally watched that. And then what I normally do is I go through an actor's filmography, and I'm like, what other shows have they been in? And he was in Love O2O, which I also had on my list. And then it's Yang. He is adorable. And then I looked at the cast list for that, and Bai-Yu is also in it. Bai-Yu is in Guardian, which I recommended last time, I think. He looks very different than he does in Guardian. He has like, anyway. But so the plot of 2.0 is that they're college and they play a video game, and the female lead and the male lead meet in game and and they pair up in the game for like an in-game marriage so that they can compete in tournaments in the game. And then they eventually discovered that they attend the same college, and so then they meet and they start dating and all that kind of stuff. And that is also really cute. Last night I stayed up until like 2 a.m. to finish it because I was like, I only have 2 episodes left.
Oh, I hate that. Actually, no, I love it. You're like, I can stay up and watch this.
I was like, that's the nice thing about like, I had to work this weekend, but weekends we're still remote. So I'm like, I don't have to get up early and catch a train, so I can stay late and finish this, which I did.
Nice.
And so this one it's again super cute. And the thing about this
super cute.
I love them. They're all like, I'm recommending it. It's cute. Okay. Like, like, because I was like, I've definitely watched some, and I'm like, nah. But I mean, that's the same thing with any show.
Yeah.
So that, like Young is in it, and he's adorable. And the thing I liked about them is that and I saw as soon, like when I finish shows, regardless of what, I immediately will go on Tumblr, go gift set, I can reblog, so that everyone knows that I just watched this show. And a lot of the posts that I was seeing about Love 020 were talking about how boring, because the couple fight. And I'm like, loved that. I love it, like, because, like, I mean, and this is the thing, this is not just drama or like an Asian drama thing. Like, this is universal, that when, like, writers seem to think that couples be happy, like, or that happy couples are, I disagrei with. And so that's why you'll always say it's like, cheat, somebody blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't like, I mean, I have it, but I was like, I appreciate it. Like, there were definitely moments that I thought would be like a traditional misunderstanding where, like, they talk for an episode or something. And there was one before in person, because they were supposed to be competing in, like, a match, and car accident, and has to go to the hospital. She's waiting, he doesn't show up because she doesn't know that he's been in an accident. So she gets upset about it. But then she finds out that he was in an accident, and obviously it's like, oh my God, you were in an accident. Like, that's so much more important than a video game. Like, there are definitely moments because, so there's another girl at the school that likes him, and there's a guy at the school that likes her, and they're trying to basically sabotage their relationship. And so there's where the, like, one of them will go up to the other with, like, something that's coming out of context. Circumstances would cause one of those, like, misunderstandings, because no one on television talks to each other. In this show, they're both like, he wouldn't do that. I trust him. Like, you know, or like blowing them off. Like, I don't even want to hear what you're saying because, like, probably bull. And I was just like, that's amazing. They actually trust each other.
Sometimes.
Like, it was nice. And it's not like the show didn't have drama, because he's a couple years older than her, and so he graduates first, and he starts his own company, and so there's drama in the company. Like, he has, like, competitors and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like there's not drama in the show. It's just not in the relationship.
Yeah,
it's nice. They actually just got to be, like, cute, and then I was like, this is amazing.
That's so nice. That is nice.
And then there's also, it's funny because I, like, if you follow me on Twitter, I live tweet a lot of these when I binge the C-dramas. And I was tweeting about Love. Oh, and there's a, like, I can't even really call them a side pairing because it's two men, and you show that on Chinese television. But there's a book, and I think in the book it's an actual, like, subplot, and, like, they get, I think, don't quote me on that. But basically, like, one of the main characters, who are all amazing, loved, like, their relationship and, like, the relationship with his girlfriend. Like, they watched amazing, and I was like, this is great. But they're in line at the cafeteria, and, like, his friends goes up and steals the last portion of some food. The cafeteria, the guy that's working in the cafeteria gives him, like, all the food. There's clearly, like, multiple portions. And they comment on that later. They're like, you got so much food. Like, I didn't get that much food, and all that kind of stuff. Later, they're at a restaurant, and the cafeteria guy works at the restaurant that they're at. He's like, oh my God, the food must be amazing here because you're such a fucking blah, blah, blah. So it's one of these where it was like, the cafeteria guy's in love with him. He's just completely oblivious. And they are adorable. And so I was tweeting, actually tweeted, like, I was like, oh, is Cafeteria in love with this guy? Because that would just make this show so much better. And one of my friends is like, oh, are you watching Love 020? Because she recognized that. And I was like, and it was like, after she started talking, oh my God, I remember she watched this year. And I remember her live tweeting it and talking about this pairing, but I didn't connect the dots and put it up. Yeah, they're adorable, and they end up living together at the end because the guy's parents buy him an apartment because they want to encourage him to like get married and all that kind of stuff. So they buy him an apartment and it's got an extra room. And so he like brings it up to everyone at the company, which cafeteria guy working at the company. And he was like, yeah, like somebody who wants to be my roommate, all this kind of stuff. And so the cafeteria guy basically just like his house. And he's just like, I'll cook, I'll do the dishes, I'll clean.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm moving. And so he moved. It's like, I don't know if you can hear that. There's fireworks going on.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? Okay, so I'm going to cut you off then, and I'll go to my recommendations now.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done.
So it's funny that you actually brought up that last sort of relationship because one of my, so I have 2 K-dramas that I would like to recommend to you. Both of these like have become probably my favorite K-dramas, and I've watched both of them like in the last month. So the first one, what I was trying to say, it kind of, the relationship that you were just talking about kind of reminded me of this first one I'm going to recommend called Because This Is My First Life. And I wasn't really sure what to think about this when I first started it. It has become hands down my favorite K-drama. It is the most adorable. So basically the main character is this young woman. She just finished like a kind of a long-term sort of internship sort of thing as an associate writer on a TV show. And her like contract ended. So she doesn't have any money. She doesn't really have a place to live. So one of her friends has a friend of a friend who is looking for a roommate. And, well, guess what? The friends of the friends don't know each other. So it turns out that this person is a dude. And which opposite sex roommates in, these Asian dramas, it's kind of that doesn't really happen, you know? And so, so they actually don't find out about each other until like I think for quite a while actually, because they've only been like texting each other and their schedules don't line up. So like they don't actually find out about each other until they've actually been living together for a little while. But it's really cute. Anyway, the guy who's actually owns the condo or apartment or whatever is like one of those really like super kind of probably a little bit on the spectrum as far as social awkwardness or whatever. He's very like blunt. He's very like clean. He doesn't like things like that. He likes to be in control, basically. And so they decide that since the main female doesn't have any money and doesn't really have a place to live, and the guy's dad said, "Hey, I'll pay off your apartment if you get married." So the two are like, "Oh, we should get married." And so they get married out of like convenience, because they find that they actually live really well together and they get along decently. And this way, like, she has a place to live and he gets his condo paid off by his parents. Cool. So, sorry, this was a very long story to get to where I am now, but it's actually, it's super cute, obviously, but there's a lot of social commentary about the institution of marriage throughout the series, as you can imagine, because it's like, is marriage kind of a dying institution? What's the point of it? you know, what types of marriages are there? Are people actually in love in marriages, or are they doing it more as like business transactions, kind of like how they started out? And it's really, really interesting. And obviously, like I said, super cute, but also very like, is marriage something that, you know, we should rely so heavily on? And I also want to say that there are two, like, off to the side kind of couples that are also going through weird marriage issues. Neither of them are married, but, you know, it's like, again, it's a constant, like, what is marriage? What's the point of it? It's a lot of social commentary. It's very interesting. But it's also like the most adorable drama I've ever seen. And I loved everybody in it. I loved everything about it. The two have a cat together, and its name is Kitty. And Kitty is so adorable. And it's so great. So you should definitely watch it. The other one that I want to recommend is a little closer to kind of like, I think more of our viewers would find interesting. It's called Her Private Life. And it is a, what?
Seen it, but I've not seen it. I've seen it like on something.
On your list or whatever.
I should say, yeah.
Okay, so it's again, you're like, okay, this is gonna be weird. But the main female lead is, she works as a curator at a museum as her real job. But then she also has this side job where she runs a whole fan website for a K-pop idol. And yeah, and she's like, she has this whole website, and she like goes to the fan events and like takes photos. But she kind of conceals her identity, so nobody knows it's really her. And but yeah, she has like her whole apartment is filled with this particular K-pop idol's like art. She has a cardboard cutout. I'm like, this is hitting a little close to home. Like the first episode, I was like, is this who I am? Yes, it is. But it's super cute. And so she ends up kind of, they get a new director at the museum, and it's kind, you know, it's a drama. It's a whole thing. And they end up dating. And I think they fake date for a while, actually. They do fake date too. They do fake date.
I love fake dating.
Yeah, they fake date because oh, yeah, okay, sorry. It's all coming back to me. It's been a little bit. It's been a few weeks since I watched this one. So now I'm like, oh, yeah, God, it's so good. So they get to, so long story, okay. The new museum director comes in, and he's like, oh, we should do like a, to revitalize, or for like the 50th anniversary of the museum, we should have like celebrities curate their own little exhibit in the museum, the art museum. And so one of the celebrities is this K-pop idol, obviously. So then, like, there's this whole thing where, you know, she then has to kind of work a little bit with this K-pop idol that she's like obsessed with. And it's so cute. But so, like a rival fan website photographs them together or whatever. And then that's why she has to fake date the museum director, because she like gets exposed as a like girlfriend of this K-pop idol, but she has to fake date the museum director so that they think she's with him, not with the K-pop idol. You know how it goes. Yeah. And so that's what happens. And I will say that the museum director eventually finds out on his own her private life, like her secret identity as this super fan. And he's totally cool with it. In fact, he digs it. He's like, I just think it's cool you're passionate about something. And I'm like, thank you. And their relationship, they end up actually like, you know, really getting together. I feel like that's a spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler because it's a K-drama and that's just what happens.
Yeah,
So
I mean, they pretty much always end up together. Like,
yeah.
they end up dead. Like,
I just want to say that when they finally get together, their relationship is relationship goals. Like, it is the relationship that I have always longed for. Like, they are so cute together. He is totally supportive of her outside, whatever. And I'm just like, this is what it's supposed to be like. And it thawed the cold, frozen heart that is inside my chest. But there's also like this whole backstory trauma, which there always is in K-dramas as well.
oh yeah.
And I'll just say that I don't want to spoil it, but I will say that the K-pop idol does become a very large part of our main character's life. So that's cute, and yeah, it's really cute. So please love it.
I love it.
Okay.
You're like the only person. Like, I try to talk about this with some of them, and they're just like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "Listen, I sit here and listen to shows you watch. Like, it's not just because they're happen to be in Chinese, okay?"
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking and I mean, I don't know if this is just. I feel like there's a difference in tone, American shows versus Asian shows, because I feel like American shows like mean when they're supposed to be like in relationships, like everybody fantastic, this kind of stuff, and I was like, I don't get that on dramas, and that's probably like that. I'm sure that's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
But it's just, although I sit there, I mean, if you follow me as like the past two shows, because my thing that I love these shows, but like people don't get comeuppance that they deserve when they do bad things. Because like there's a character in the King's Avatar. He's on the main character, Yiju. His former team. He makes a really bad mistake championship and almost like costs them the and all that kind of stuff. So he gets kicked off the team. He demotes him. He's still like, because the teams in these are like big nations. Like there's a primary team and a secondary team. There's other people that do the guild, which is basically like doing all of like finding all of the materials and all that kind of stuff to get so that the people on the team, on the main team, can like upgrade their weapons kind of stuff. He gets demoted to the guild, and he then makes it his mission to like destroy the master, like actively sabotages all of this stuff. And I'm just like, why do you care? Like, because this is after, like, he was kicked team. Like, why do you care? And just like all this stuff, and I'm just like, why does nobody punch these people in the face? And that's the thing in 020 too, because the main girl, like, she's in the computer science department. She's very smart and she's very pretty and sweet. Like, you know, a lot of the she has no personality. She has a personality. She's just not a bitch. Like, nice is a personality. Like, but all these people hate her for like no reason. And I'm just like, I tweeted the Regina George gift. It's like, why are you so obsessed with me? Because literally people people in the game that she plays like talk crap about her. Like, everybody thinks she's a man in disguise because she's like too good at the game and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like all these people like trying to trip her up and catch her in lies. And it's, why do you care? And none of them get slapped. And I'm like, really? I could, you know. And I was like, usually, you know, the main character like forgives that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't think that happens on television. Like, people, I don't lunch, but like, you know.
I think you should watch her private life.
I probably like I will add it to the list. It's growing.
Yeah. Well, and the main guy who's in it, not the K-pop idol, but like the museum director, he's like, well, and the really awesome thing, like, this is going to sound real superficial, and I'm very sorry, but a lot of these, like the main male actors in the K-dramas are usually very close in age to me in real life. And so I don't feel as bad about crushing on them as I do about like K-pop idols or whatever, who are generally like 15 years younger than me. And so, but the main guy in her private life is so beautiful. Like, that's probably why I liked him so much. He is a good dude, though.
This is Yang. This is Yang.
Just post that in our Discord. You know the one. You know the one.
I did. I have a couple. That exact. I guess I did post that photo.
Okay, well, I'll go back and look at it. I always forget about it. So
I have multiple, but I was like, I did that photo like basically right after I started watching King's Avatar, and I was so the King's Avatar is also there's an animated version too, and so when I went to Tumblr to try and find GIFs, they were all like the anime, and I was like,
oh yeah,
it's like, but I want him. I was like, I want confused puppy-less human disaster. But
we'll talk offline. About
like
that.
I could go. I was like, yeah, my list is growing because there's a couple C-dramas that are airing currently that I'm waiting to finish so that I can binge them.
Yeah, come on, Netflix. What's up with that? I have like 4 K-dramas right now that are weekly episodes, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the C-dramas at least are like, they air. And because like I've been checking, the one of them isn't on anything other than YouTube. I mean, it's on like Tencent, which I actually have. I have the Tencent app. But a lot of that is the idea, like, oh, you can see a couple episodes of one, and I'm like, I'll just wait till they all come on YouTube. But it's like they post like 2 or 3 episodes a day.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I don't know how much they actually like air, like how it airs in China, but I'm like, dude, they only started posting it. I'm very excited about this one because it's a Yang again, and this is actually how I discovered him. I follow somebody on Tumblr that I started following because of the, and she had I'm gonna butcher pronunciation, and I apologize to Mandarin speakers for this. She had a bracket, like older brother, Gege. I can never pronounce it correctly. I can pronounce it when I'm by myself. I can't try to pronounce it for other people.
It's fine.
Older brother. So she basically, it's all of these actors that are older than her, and it was like a, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So it's basically like all these different actors, and like he's just one of them, and she's watching the show that I'm waiting to finish, and so she's getting the gift sets, and I'm like, this is fantastic. But he is I think he's a student, but he studies like astronomy or, you know, something like that. And then one of his, I don't know if they were friends when they were kids, each other when they were kids. She's like an actress. They start dating, but they can't announce that they're dating because she's, you know, so. But I was like, it looks freaking adorable, and I'm like super excited.
Well, all of the things that I recommend, all the K-dramas I recommend are pretty much all on Netflix because I'm not paying for anything else right now. So whatever.
Well, I have, mine are, the King's Avatar and Love are both on Netflix. But I have which has a lot of Asian drama.
Yeah.
So I have that. Also, a lot of stuff's on YouTube. So.
All right. I think we've gone down our recommendation rabbit hole enough here tonight. That's never true. I could go for hours, but we don't have hours. So please enjoy our recommendations. Let us know if you watch any of them, because it doesn't matter. We're going to keep talking about them anyway.
Also, more gaming C-dramas. please
Oh,
let me
okay.
know. That is like apparently my thing now. I know there's at least one more. It's on Viki. I have a list. But I'm sure there's a lot. I think probably like very big in China. But
Yeah.
let me know.
All right. So we're going to skip quarantine shout outs other than just to say thanks still for getting your vaccines. Make sure that you're getting all your friends and family and all your cousins in Texas vaccinated. One of my conservative cousins from Texas just announced she got vaccinated today, and I was like, finally, because she's very anti-vaccine. So she went for it. So good job. And continue to just thank you to those continuing to be mindful about wearing masks and social distancing and stuff in public, because I don't want anyone ever closer than 6 feet away from me ever for the rest of my life. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So I think we're probably about done here. So do you have any final thoughts before we head out? I'm sweating. I just got to cool off.
I hope everybody that was in the path of Ida
yes.
is doing okay. I'm okay, but I have lost pretty much all of her like photos. Their basement like flooded. Jersey, because and I remember seeing online that there were deaths like in Jersey were in New Orleans. Like, well, that's because New Orleans like evacuated, like knew that it was bad, and we did not realize that it was going to be as bad. And we're not built for flooding in this.
Yeah.
Which we're on a like rivers flood. But if anybody has seen the video on Twitter of the rat swing, that's New York.
Cool. Great.
It actually is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And
flipping and doing tricks with the rat.
I second that, though. I know it ended up being pretty devastating for a lot of people. So, hurricane season, man. It's done.
Yeah, I'm about to go to Florida. Last year,
tell me about it.
Last year, our vacation was interrupted by a tropical storm. We're sort of hoping that doesn't happen this year.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I live here, so it's fine. All right. I'm Erin. I'm here with Jamie. Again, thank you for joining us for Feelings with the Geekiary, where all we talk about are our Asian dramas. It's fine. Remember, we are a free webcast run off of donations from viewers like you. So thank you for contributing and helping our host site, the Geekiary. And we will see you next time. And I should probably start live tweeting my dramas that I watch.
It's fun. People get very confused.
I'll do it. Okay. We'll see you next time. Bye. In the broadcast.